Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, and welcome to another NerdTube review. And today we are talking about the Caped Crusader. I am joined by my animation specialist in arms, GG. How you doing, my friend?
I'm very well indeed.
All
I had
right,
no
let's
internet, so I'm using my phone. But other than that, all good.
yeah. But as everybody knows, me and Ginger, we love talking about animation. But today, I think we are not going to love to talk about this because just Batman Cape Crusader was such a slog. I was out at episode 7. I really did not like it. I thought some of the creative liberties that they took was kind of stupid. I'm not one of those that's a purist, but I think it was stupid. I don't know, Ginger, what's your overall thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, let's put it this way. I'm usually the one that ducks out of things early once I get a sniff of how crap they are. So for you to duck out by the end of episode 6, beginning of episode 7, says a lot about this show. I stuck with it just because I wanted to see if it got better. It didn't. It started off first and foremost. It was boring. It was mind-numbingly boring, an absolute snooze fest. I get they wanted to try and make it a bit more grounded and all of that, but you shit the bed the minute you introduce a ghost character in there. That's where this show just I was done. I was pissed off by at that point anyway. But the minute we got the ghost, sorry, I was like, okay, that's it. I'm
And
done.
it
You've
and
taken
it's
too
not
many. Sorry,
oh,
go
go ahead.
on. No,
No,
go
no,
on.
go ahead.
I'm just saying you've taken too many creative liberties. Some I could let slide, some I just couldn't. And the ghost thing was just like, why have we gone supernatural with it? Like, I thought this was meant to be a bit more grounded. Like, I'm always like, people that know me know I love noir. If you're gonna make something that's got a noir vibe to it, I'm all in. But this noir was just, it felt just flat. It felt out of place. Supposedly got the kind of 1940s aesthetic, which it captures in moments, and I do love Bruce Timm's look and feel of things and how he draws his characters. And but there was just too many weird, like nonsensical crap in it, and you know, we could go through some of the things
Yeah,
as we go along. But
that
overall, it was just so boring.
I just feel like there was more action in the 1940s Superman cartoon than there was in this. You know what I mean? Like one of those da,
Yeah,
da, 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 like he's punching the laser, like
yeah,
I don't
exactly.
need that, but I'm just saying like there's more action in a 1940s Superman cartoon than there was in
And,
this.
and the thing is, like, I wouldn't mind the lack of action if it had some great like detective work going on with Batman, because that's always that one element of Batman I really love, where he just sits there and he's like, being a detective and all this kind of stuff. But we didn't. What we did is we got focused on. So Batman takes a bit of a back seat compared to usual, and we kind of focus a lot of the kind of characters. But the problem is the main kind of um, rogues gallery is just not interesting in
Yeah.
this at all. And the biggest crime that was committed in this by a country mile was Harley Quinn. They Whatever they did with her, they shit their bed. Her look was stupid. Her costume was stupid. Her motivations completely fucking stupid. Like I don't mind when you take certain, you want to rejig things and things like that. I'm okay with that. Like I initially, when I saw like Oswalda Copperpot, so that they gender changed Penguin, I didn't care. I was interested to see what they do with it. But again, she's in one episode. She's a mum. She
Yeah,
kills
I was
one of her
about to say
kids.
it didn't even feel like the character of Penguin. You know what I mean?
No,
Like, yeah, like the whole mom aspect of it. It's basically like, God, I
all they all they did with Oswalda Copperpot, they literally made her a drag act,
mhm.
minus being dragged. She's an actual female, but It's just a drag act. Her attitude, her mannerisms, the sing songs, and all this kind of stuff. She's just a drag act, and that was a big fuck up. That was just unacceptable for me. And then the kids and all that, and then you just never see her again. That's it. She's in the first episode, I think, and that was it. She was
Yeah.
gone. But the Harley Quinn one just, it really, it pissed me off. It really pissed me off. And Barbara Gordon, another one, and I know I don't want to be shitting on the women characters here, but they did a disservice to them. You know, Catwoman, I didn't mind it. I know a lot of people talk about Catwoman and all that. I didn't mind it. The look was like her original look from the 40s. It's a stupid look. You don't really need to use that look. But the kind of change in her background story, that was fine. But it was just like Barbara Gordon, like she's a lawyer. Why is she fucking armed to the teeth with a gun? That just doesn't make any sense to me. That's what bugged me. Like if she was like a cop in training or something like that, I get it. But she's a lawyer and she's got a gun. And she's just going out, just shooting shit out of people. It's just, you know,
It would have
it's
been better if they made her a private investigator. You know what
yeah,
I
just
mean?
a
Like,
PI or somebody that
yeah.
has a license to carry a weapon. You're not
And
licensed.
especially in the 1940s, like I'm not saying that we should revert, but I'm just saying like you're kind of going against the aesthetic of a lawyer's not carrying a gun in the 1940s. You know what I mean? Like
Exactly.
it kind of went against the aesthetic of the time.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like it just didn't make any sense. Like she's like this fucking just person that's like a crack shot and really good with guns. Like, yeah, make her a private investigator, make her a fucking something other than a lawyer. It just didn't bloody make sense.
It would have been really good because like if you made her a PI, then it would have made kind of paralleled her with Batman a little bit more, which is the direction they were going in the series.
Yeah,
Like they kind of kept on bumping heads, and it's like, well, if she was a PI, there would be more reason instead of having to fabricate reasons for her to be in these places. Oh, I happen to know Harleen Quinzel, and I happen to know, and like all these times when they come together,
that's
it's like,
it.
no, she's a
And then
PI and
like,
they're investigating the same cases and give them a reason to cross paths.
yeah, exactly. Not silly things like, oh, it's actually you that's the target, not your father. That comes later. I don't think you saw those episodes. But when they think that Gordon is like the target of a hit, it turns out, the twist is actually Barbara Gordon. That's the main target of the hit put out by the what was his name? The property developer, dodgy guy. Them
I
lot.
don't remember. As I
Yeah,
said,
it doesn't matter. But you get, and then you just like, I mean, the best thing to do here is just to focus on the characters because not much else really happens. I mean, the story's pretty much the kind of same shit. I mean, Harvey Dent is literally just Harvey Dent, a great
stereotypical Harvey Dent.
stereotypical Harvey Dent, makes a bad deal, blows up in his face, literally. And, he goes on his murderous tirade when he gets acid in his face. And by that point in time, you're like, yeah, I get it. Okay, let's move on. But you had, um, you had like when they're out to get Barbara Gordon, they have this guy who I thought initially was the mask, but they had like look like a bullseye
Yeah.
mask thing, and I was so uninterested in what was going on. I didn't even know who the fuck that person was.
Well, and that's
I
the
didn't
thing. It's
know.
like as you said, like none of this is interesting. Like again, they're using grounded villains. I kind of get that, but then like you don't even. And as I said, I don't want it to be a glory like a glory shot of all of Batman's villains. Like, but pepper in some of the like the lower tiered ones. We still got to have some main ones. And I know you had what, you had Penguin in the first episode. I
Yeah,
mean, Catwoman. I don't consider her a villain. Honestly, never did.
no,
Like an
not
antagonist,
really.
maybe, but like you know.
Yeah,
And then like yeah, Two Face at the end. Who I mean, who everybody else was just kind of throwaway. The Ghost, I was done at the Ghost. I
the
was
Ghost
done.
was done. Their
Harley
fucking
Quinn was
shit
just.
version of Clayface was pathetic. Like a
Oh
lot of
yeah. The
people.
second episode of Clayface. Yeah, I
Second
hate that version
episode,
of Clayface.
yeah, that was bloody awful.
Basil, and that his last name or something like that, or his
Something
first
like
name.
that.
Yeah,
But But see, at that point, I was like, "What is this?" But then I was like, "Okay, they're going to try and ground this in reality, try and make it a bit more logical with some of the stuff." But then you get the ghost, and it's the ghost that just the
Goes
ghost and
against
Harley
everything they're
Quinn just
doing.
derailed this whole bloody show. It just derailed it. I can't expect, okay, it's a ghost with like weird holograms and all that, Scooby Doo or whatever like that. But no, they just went full fucking ghost in the style of a Native American ghost. That's you're on my land kind of thing, and it was just like, oh, just fuck off.
Yeah, like you got to introduce like this is that point where it's like if you start with a grounded show, it's like the MCU. The MCU started very grounded, but then they started introducing all of these supernatural elements. You can't just
Yeah,
go like balls in on a ghost. Like you got introduce Constantine or or
yeah,
introduce like introduce something adjacent that will help bleed this world. This and you can't do it on season one. You know what I mean? Like it.
no, you can't. Especially when it's like supposed to be like the early days of Batman, where he's just kind
Yeah.
of finding his footing, and he just went full go. I mean, I don't like the supernatural elements being in Batman anyway. I never liked it. It shouldn't be there. That's for Constantine and all those kind of characters. Like for
Zatanna and
me,
all them.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's
what always sorry, go on.
I was gonna say that's a team up episode, like with
Yeah,
Constantine, with Zatanna, like, and that's what they did in the animated series. You got into the mystical stuff, not in the very first season. I'm pretty sure Zatanna and I don't even think Constantine showed up, but Zatanna showed up in the
Zatanna
animated
showed up
series,
later on. I
like
think it's
later.
season 4 or
Yeah.
3 or something like that. But yeah, but it's just, I mean, that alone. And what infuriates me is like they get to the point. So there's like an episode 4 where they have like Firebug in it, and the whole process of getting him released to go and cause damage and then killing him off at the end. I thought that was great. I thought that's what I wanted to see. That kind of fucked up police corruption.
Hmm.
And
That was probably my favorite episode that I watched.
yeah,
So
that
like
was the best episode.
yeah.
Yeah, that one was a great episode because it just kind of showed Gordon what Batman was really about, and it also kind of just showed that police are just going to go to any lengths to, either paint themselves a hero. Just yeah, they're just. I loved it. Like the police corruption stuff was very interesting in this show. That was probably the only thing that kind of had me going, but then that just petered off into ridiculous or repetitiveness. By the
Hmm.
end of it, it doesn't really go anywhere, to be honest. And again, the thing that really like I would just like to see in Batman, the gangsters, your Falcones, your I forget what's the name of the bloody property developer guy who's just
Um, Thorn or
Thorn. Thank you.
okay.
You
I
know,
didn't know he was a property owner, but I didn't. As I said, I didn't pay that much attention to
yeah,
him.
he's
He's the one that was trying to trying to tempt Dent into buying out or
he's a
whatever.
mob boss, but I just call him the property owner mob boss because he kind of goes into like owning properties and
Yeah.
burning them for insurance jobs
I
or whatever. But so good.
my only thing is that with the mob bosses and stuff, I like to see like I love in Arkham City where there was a section of that game where it was like it was a gang war, but between like Joker, Penguin, and Two Face, where it was like it was actual gang war. It wasn't like, oh, this, like big super villain, blah blah blah. No, it was like there was turf wars going on, and you got these
Yeah.
guys like I mean, and even with your thing, it's like you got to make these characters interesting. Like, yes, the Joker, and I don't want the Joker in this, by the way. I'm glad they excluded him because
Oh,
the Joker's in
they
everything.
tease him. They tease him at the end of episode
Oh, I
10.
did not see that far. So
Yeah, you're fine. But they tease him at the end because
of
they
course
can't
they
help
did. I
themselves.
mean, they did
They
at the
can't
end of
help
Batman
themselves.
Begins too because they wanted to hook everybody for the Dark Knight.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
exactly.
but yeah, I mean, I would love to see that more of like a turf war game, and even they even say it in the early episodes. They're like, oh, it's going to be an all out gang war, and I'm like, yes, gang war. I want to see the city on fire gang war. Between Penguin and Two Face and all these Falcone and Thorn. Like, I want to see Batman having to juggle this act of fighting off this gang war as one man himself. But
Yeah.
no, it just
But
it petered into like just ridiculousness when the ghost came in. I'm like, this is not what I want. Like, I don't.
yeah, no, you literally didn't miss anything after that. Like I was saying, it just by that point it was really like, oh, just get to the next episode, get to the next episode. get it over with, because this is just, they've just butchered this beyond belief. And if I was Matt Reeves, I would take my name off of this. You
Oh, and
know,
J.J. Abrams. I mean,
J.J. Abrams, just
he
everything
shouldn't
that
have
guy.
even been involved. I don't know why he was involved in this project.
I have no idea. Like, you know, again, I don't know if you're just an executive producer, is it just to use your name and then they give you a credit or whatnot? But for me, it was just an embarrassment. It just stank of like just. It didn't even feel like a Bruce Timm thing. We see what
No,
Bruce
it
Timm
really
is
didn't
about.
because Bruce Timm likes using those like those big characters. He likes making those good character moments, and just like they weren't in a lot of these episodes.
Yeah, exactly. It just felt hollow. It felt like a J.J. Abrams product.
It,
It really did. You know, that's the best way to say it. And Ed Brubaker was involved with it, and I know that name sounds familiar. Um, can you Google that for me 1 second? I know
yeah.
we're recording, but it's Brew, BRU, and then Baker, Brubaker, Ed Brubaker.
Yeah, I can do that. While I'm doing that, let's talk about the intro because I absolutely hated this intro. I thought it was garbage. What did you think of it?
What, the opening credit
Yeah,
scene?
the opening credit sequence.
Oh,
That's one.
terrible. That was
Yeah, like I
awful.
thought it was gonna. I'm like, oh yeah, here we go. I mean, I didn't want it to be a carbon copy of the animated series, but
Nah,
um,
it was just crap. I didn't like it. Yeah,
Bruce Brew
Ed
Baker.
Brubaker. Ed,
Uh
not Bruce.
oh, musician.
No, that can't be right. Ed Brubaker's a musician. He's a
Oh,
writer.
Ed. I'm sorry. Hold on.
Ed, yeah. How many times am I going to say Ed? You deaf cunt. Yeah, Ed, ED, 1D, then
Comic book.
B.
He's a writer. Comic book writer,
Oh,
cartoonist,
the comic
screenwriter.
book. Okay, that's it. All right, that's where I know him from. He's probably done a bunch of Batman comics and things like
Yeah.
that. But yeah, this is just no, this unacceptable show. There's not much else to really talk about.
No, not
It's
really. I was gonna say
boring.
I just wanted to make sure we talked about the
Yeah.
Ed Brubaker. He co-created the Winter Soldier, like as Bucky Barnes.
That's where I know him from. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
He wrote
That's fine.
for Captain America, Daredevil, Uncanny X-Men, Batman, Catwoman, The Authority. Yeah. I mean, he's just
Yeah.
attached to a bunch of just comic
He's
book stuff.
yeah. He's a comic. That's where I know him from. He's a comic book writer. Okay. Did the Winter Soldier. That was good. But this wasn't. You know. Hey, everyone has their moment. It's like Grant Morrison. You know, with New X-Men was great, but everything else he did after that was absolute dog shit. So yeah, that's it. There's not much else to really talk about with this show. Just avoid it, and let's hope that if they're still working on Spider-Man Noir over at Amazon Studios, that it's nothing as bad as this.
Let's hope.
Uh, let's hope, yeah, because this was
But
crap. Go back, watch the original animated series, the '90s animated series, one of the greatest animated series ever made, and just enjoy that because this comes nowhere close to it. It just there's nothing redeemable about this. Maybe the police corruption stuff at the beginning, but that just petered out
I mean, but
to
yeah, say,
complete
but that's
crap.
just like one small portion of the story. You know what I mean? Like as I said, yeah, they didn't take any swings. Like they took in the animated series, they took swings. You know what I mean? Like they created
Yeah,
Harley Quinn. You know,
yeah,
like they and this one, I don't know what I mean. They should have created a new character instead of using Harley Quinn because the episode, in my opinion, the episode with Harley Quinn wasn't a bad episode, but it
someone
needed to be
else.
with somebody else because it did not.
For me, that felt more like a Hugo Strange episode, though.
Yeah, that would have been a great Hugo Strange
Yeah,
episode.
just
Oh my
Hugo
god, you're
Strange.
right.
Yeah, yeah, that's what it felt like to me. Uh, that's what I would have preferred if that was like, even if they made her female, I wouldn't have been bothered. Just call her, Hyacinth Strange or something stupid like that.
Heidi Strange,
Yeah, Heidi Strange.
Karen
Just
Strange.
that would have been fine. But Harley Quinn,
No, it
no,
just
no, no, it's unacceptable. You know,
Yeah.
that you could, and you show us a Joker at the end of episode 10, and so what? You're just going to completely derail her origin story. Like the
I'm sure
Catwoman
they'll
one's
come together
different.
in
She goes
season
from,
2.
eh?
I'm sure they'll come together in season 2. But the weird thing is that so is it going to
But
be
she's already
now?
established. That's the
Yeah.
problem. She's already established now
Yeah. So that's what
as
I'm
Harley
saying. Like,
Quinn.
but they're still going to try
Yeah,
to cram them together, like, and
yeah.
that's where it's like, no, like,
No,
I think
no.
honestly, if they were going to go the big swing with Harley, make Harley like the only Joker character, like that
Yeah,
episode still was not for her, but don't even bring the Joker in. Don't even
yeah.
let
Make her
Harley
the
be
Joker
that
character.
clown
Yeah,
princess of crime.
yeah. That would have been fine. But in this one, anyway.
I know.
Let's
Yeah,
hope.
we can go on and on
I
and on.
don't want to. I don't want a series 2. Don't make a series 2 for the love of God. Just end it. The general consensus online seems to be negative.
Even though it has a
Um,
98% on Rotten Tomatoes, and I know that's the critics, so they've probably been bought off, but still, like,
yeah, there's no justification for making this 98%, and I wouldn't be surprised if they're the people who are like, oh, it ticks a few of the boxes that I like. I'll give it a 98%. There's no fucking way they sat and watched all 10 episodes
yeah, no.
for
I couldn't
this.
even sit and watch. I mean, I'll finish it, but I'm like, it's a slog. Like I want after every episode, I wanted to turn it off, and I'm like,
Yeah,
as Zam would say, it's the cure for insomnia.
insomnia. Absolutely. That's what it is. Because as soon as I finished episode 10, I fell asleep.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, we could just go ahead and mark this. I'm just going to give this a 0. There's no
I
point giving it
mean,
anything else.
I'm going to give it like a 2, just because, as I said, there were some good things. The one episode 4, I think, with the pyromaniac I thought was pretty good. I'll give it a 2. But I mean, no,
Okay.
I mean, avoid this at all costs if you can.
Yeah.
I mean, if you like Batman, or if you don't like Batman, watch the crap out of this. But if you like Batman, don't watch this.
Yeah, don't watch this. This is up there with Batman and Robin. Like that's how bad this is for me. This is like right up there. In fact, Batman and Robin has redeemable qualities now that we're older. We can watch and enjoy the silliness of it. But this one, it's just stank. So it's a 0 for me.
It tried too hard, truthfully, but yeah.
It tried too hard and did nothing with it. That's the problem.
Yeah.
So yeah, cool.
All right. Well, everybody, that wraps it up here. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you haven't, if you have forgotten the name, it's NerdTube. Remember it.